All right, in this video, I'm going to do a volume-based word problem. And this one's a little different. I'm not asking us to find the volume. They're giving us the volume. They're asking us to find the dimensions. I'm going to read this problem out. Find the dimensions of a shipping box, given that the length is twice the width, the height is 8 inches, and the volume is 1,600 inches cubed, or 1,600 inches cubed. Okay, well, a word problem. First thing we do is underline everything that's important. What we're looking for is the dimensions of a shipping box. Well, the volume is length times width times height. So they want the dimensions. They want the length, the width, and the height. Length by width by height. Okay. Given that the length is twice the width. Okay, that's important. What does that mean, though? The length is, equal sign, twice the width. Width times 2. So we figured that out. All right, the height is 8 inches. Okay, well, they give us the height. So, boom, got one of them. That's part of our answer. We just need the other two parts. And the volume is 1,600 inches cubed. Okay. How do we do this? Well, we have our volume equation. Length times width times height. What we need is the length and the width. We don't know either of those. We do know the height. So we can put that in there. We do know the volume. So we can put that in there. 1,600. But we need a way to get rid of one of these, so we just solving for one of them, because if we have two variables in there, we can't really figure out, the actual numerical values of either of them for sure. But, they did give us that L is 2W, so we can substitute 2W in for L there. Now we only have one variable, just W, and that's what we're looking for. Quick note, you could also solve for W here. The width would be the length divided by 2. You could have substituted L over 2 in for W, and you would have had L times L over 2 instead of 2W times W. Just an alternate way of doing things. You'll get the same answer. Maybe I should do that later on. Okay, but to solve this, we need to actually solve for W now. Well, let's multiply these numbers together. 2 times 8 is 16, right? W times W is W times itself, which is W squared, and that's equal to 1,600. Now, we need to get W by itself, so we got to divide by 16. Okay, well, I don't know my 16 times tables, but I'm pretty sure that 1,600 is just 16 times 100, so 1,600 divided by 16 would just be 100 equals W squared. Now we don't quite know what W is. We know what W squared is. So we need to do one more thing. Square root of both sides to get rid of that squared. That'll be W. Now, when you take square root of both sides, normally you go positive, negative, whatever the square root of 100 is, which in this case is 10. It's always 10. But since we know that we're dealing with measurements, and this is the real world, we can eliminate the negative part of that answer, because negative 10 times negative 10 is still going to get you 100, right? But we know that you can't have a width of negative 10 inches. Not in this dimension. So there's our answer for the width. That's our width, 10 inches. Okay. All we're missing is the length. Well, what do we know about the length? Length is twice the width, right? Even though I solve for W over here. So the length would be 2 times 10. So that would be 20. So the dimensions are 20 by 10 by 8. The shipping box. Length times width times height. All right. Now, let me just erase this real quick. This part. Let's just redo it. See if we get the same answer. Using width equals L over 2. L over 2, right? H is 8 inches, just like it was before. And L is just L. We're going to pretend like we don't know it. Looks like a ribbon. Okay. Volume. 1600. Can't forget that. Okay. Well, with multiplication and division here, it's pretty easy. We just multiply, we get L squared. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so 4L squared equals 1600. Okay. Divide both sides by 4. What do we get? 16 divided by 4 is 4, but we still got 2 zeros left, so that's 400 equals L squared. Square root of both sides. Well, we know square root of 4 times the square root of 100 is square root of 400. But if we take the square root of both of those, we get 2 times square root of 100 is 10. 2 times 10 is our length, which is 20 inches, just like it is there. We divide it by 2 to get the width. We get 10. So you could go either way.